The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. This is the 2024 Summer Edition, or waning summer edition of The Local Show. I'm your host, Tom Soccocio Jr., along with my friend and co-host, Steve Roberts. The Local Show features conversations about local businesses. We talk to the business owners, CEOs, CFOs, entrepreneurs, nonprofits, business advocates, and other business-friendly organizations. We learn how they got into business, why they do business right here in Syracuse, New York, and where their businesses might be going in the future. You're going to hear all about their successes, their challenges, opportunities, marketing, and advertising. We're broadcasting from the Zoey Advertising Studios, sponsored by Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. And you can see the whole thing on YouTube if you're inclined to go over there. And you can like and follow and all that kind of jive. So now we say hearty, healthy good morning to Steve Roberts. How you doing there, Steve?
Never better, Tom.
Okay, good. Have a leaf and a smile.
Yeah, no, the waning summer thing, I'm okay with spring.
Yeah.
Summer and fall. Those are okay. I just hate the big W. I just do.
Yeah. Well, we haven't had really, terrible winters.
No, but it's cold.
Yeah,
it's just no fun. People are like, oh, they go ski. I'm a fisherman. I don't ice fish. Never. That isn't my thing. Mm-hmm. So when it's cold, I just dream of going somewhere warm.
Yeah, yeah. Well, a lot of people do around here. Labor Day is certainly not a fun time that I can remember. I'm trying to think if I ever enjoyed. No, like people say, oh, we got the big Labor Day party. No, it's not really time to celebrate. Now, Memorial Day parties, I'm all about it.
No, but Labor Day's gone.
Yeah.
The kids are in school.
Sure.
Everything is...
it's kind of
like Mom used to say, well, after Labor Day, everything closes.
I know,
and I always would fight it, but she was right.
Right. Yeah, it's a mindset, really. And then around here, we kind of go into hibernation mode. Oh, okay. So we got a great show, though. I forgot. I was going to go right into the interview, but I should tell people, who's on the show. Yeah. Matt Mallory is going to come up first. He's the owner of PS&Ed and Mallory Unlimited. And then Sheena Tiska is coming in. And Sheena is my cousin, just FYI, a little nepotism there. She is the owner of The Giving Bean, and we'll get her whole story. There's a whole story behind that. It's a food truck, or a coffee truck, if you will. Helen Kelly will stop by, development officer at Elmcrest Children's Center. And then Lou Greco, comedian and co-creator of the Uncle Louie variety show. Kelly Springer stops by, the owner of Kelly's Choice. She's a nutritionist and has a unique type of business. She works with Pathfinder Bank now, too. They have her whole program. Attorney John Murphy is the owner of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts.
We've interviewed him before, Tom.
Yeah, we have. And Anthony Valerio is the owner and founder of Four Winds Chimney. And then Bridget Hodson is the manager over there at Ichiban Japanese Steakhouse. And we'll talk with her and see what they got going on. Right now, it's Matt Mallory. How you doing there, Matt?
I'm good. I'm after all those names, I'm thinking I'm the opening act here.
Yes.
I gotta perform.
Yes, you do.
Well, listeners, it warms up. We have to have something on, so we just
you're on the radio a lot, and you're in various walks of life throughout Central New York. But let people know in about 20 seconds what you're all about.
Yeah, I think the thing that I do the most of is teach the handgun safety course, the 18-hour handgun safety course. I teach that about once a week between Runnings in Clay, Bass Pro Shops in Auburn, and then my place in Lafayette. Yeah. Also, some oddball courses is multi-state, so Utah, Florida, Pennsylvania. Got a PA trip coming up in February. And then another course that I just kicked off last December, so almost a year, is called Build Your Own AR. So I teach people how to build their own AR pistol or AR rifle.
So you get a lot of frequent flyer miles. Holy smokes.
Yeah, well, it's funny because on the way here, I'm thinking like, okay, where have I traveled to? And I'm thinking, geez, I'm not going to remember all this. So I had to write it down. Vegas, Florida, Colorado, Wisconsin, Texas, Maine, and PA 3 times. That's where I've been this year so far.
Do you like to travel?
No, I don't. I like to be home with the family.
Yeah, see, that's the way I am. Yeah, I don't want to travel, but you do it.
Yeah, I mean, if it calls, I had a course. I'm supposed to be going to Georgia in October, but I just canceled that yesterday because we didn't have enough students. So
okay,
this year's been weird.
Why would somebody want to build their own AR? I don't understand that.
Home defense.
Okay,
right? I mean, the thing we say in the industry is you use your handgun to fight to get to your long gun.
Oh, I see.
An AR is a long gun, right?
Hang on, say that again. I don't know that I've ever heard you say that.
Yeah, you use your handgun to fight to get to your long gun. So handguns are great for close quarter battle, and if you need to get, if somebody breaks into your house, they might have a handgun, but if they got a long gun, you'd want to match it, right?
Right. Okay.
So being able to get to a rifle or a shotgun is going to be more, you're more accurate. You can shoot it at a further distance. It's more firepower, more feet per second coming out of the front of that muzzle. So
right.
Yeah.
Do you for protection? Do you want to use a shotgun? So a scatter gun's better than
shotguns aren't bad. Yeah, double aught buckshot. For somebody who doesn't want to put the time, energy, effort, or money into training and learning the better way to do it, then a shotgun with double aught buck could be definitely a valuable
because
tool.
the spray can hit the whole side of the barn. I mean, is that really?
You're going to hit somebody.
Yeah, I mean, and there's still that level of knowing, can it go through sheetrock? It can, right? So you don't want to be shooting at a bad guy in front of a wall of your kid's bedroom. So, I mean, there's still a level of training people want to take. I'm actually doing a shotgun instructor or a shotgun course this weekend for law enforcement.
Do movies that have shootouts make you crazy?
They do. My wife hates watching movies with me.
You must be like, that doesn't make that sound. That doesn't work.
Why did they rack the slide again?
Yeah, right.
Freeze. We don't say freeze in law enforcement.
So tell us about the alternative guns that are out there. My friend down the road, he's got a Byrna. I was checking it out. He had to go to Pennsylvania or something to get the actual tear gas and what have you.
So tear gas technically is illegal in New York State for civilians. Noxious material. OC, oleoresin capsicum, which people refer to that as pepper spray.
Okay.
That's legal for civilians to have.
Oh, that is? Okay.
Yep. And then New York State in the law, actually, the amount you're supposed to have, and there's some other things. I cover that. I do a pepper spray class for students. It's up on the calendar for September if anybody's interested. But like you said, Byrna, an alternative to that would be like the Sabre home defense launcher.
Okay.
Which is what.
Let me say, if YouTube listeners can see this online, and if you're on the radio, just picture it.
So there's a couple of these brands now that
absolutely.
And what they do is we know how New York State is, and basically if you shoot somebody on your own property, even if they're breaking and entering and they're going to cause you harm, you got to go through hell to try and prove that it was justified.
It's called an affirmative defense. So affirmative, yes, I did it. So you're admitting guilt to it already, and you have to be 1 million. People say 100%. And I forget that 1,000,000% defense.
Jeez.
So if there's anything swaying with that, then the prosecutor, the ADA or DA, could actually bring charges against you because you've admitted to doing it already. So you basically just put yourself in a.
What about these legal programs? They say, "Oh, join this thing, and and they will protect you if you shoot somebody in defense." What is that all
New
about?
York State calls that murder insurance, so they ban that.
No kidding.
Yep. New York State doesn't want you having insurance to cover yourself in case you get into a violent encounter, so they made it illegal. There is a court case that went up to the Supreme Court. I think it was in New York, but the Supreme Court just ruled that they can't do that. So we're starting to see that change and back up some. But the New York State doesn't like people defending themselves.
So all in all, with these the Byrna or the Sabre and stuff like that, is it a better alternative? Is it a good alternative? Do you like it?
It's an alternative, right? I mean, it's the firearm. If somebody's hell bent to kill you, then you want to be able to stop them from doing such. Your goal isn't to. I mean, good, moral, prudent people don't want to kill other people, right?
Right.
But you want to be able to stop somebody from trying to kill you. That's how I propose it in my classes.
Gotcha.
So I mean, tools like this are better than nothing. But having a firearm and this, you just double up.
So someone wants to find out about classes, MalloryUnlimited.com. They can find out what's going on, or maybe they just have a question. We have a gun. We're not sure what to do.
Yeah,
they can talk to you. 567-9268 is the phone number. 567-9268. Mallory Unlimited. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me again.
Coming up next, Steve, we're going to talk with Sheena Tiska. She's the owner of The Giving Bean, and she was a school teacher for a number of years. And we'll find out her story right here on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
We're back into it and back at it again. It's Tom and Steve here on the local show on 570 WSYR 106.9 FM. Steve, did you want to tell people about your adulation line? Your that they can call.
I'm looking good. What are you asking?
The Steve Roberts vanity line.
No. This is the line where I'll get a text. That Tom guy is a great voice. Why are you there?
It's all about you.
So we got he's Johnny Carson. I'm Ed McMahon. I'm just the guy. So if you have questions or maybe want to hear a guest again or say what was their phone number or have a question or anything, you can text us 216-0273. That's the area code 315 time.
The big one.
The big one, yes.
Yeah.
216-0273. Whatever you want to do, shout it out and tell Tom he's wonderful, which makes him happy and drives his
Steve.
help his estrogen levels rise.
Very good. We have a new guest to the show today. Her name is Sheena Tiska, and she's the owner of The Giving Bean. And full disclosure, she's a relative of mine. Okay, so
isn't anybody that has a vowel at the end of their name a relative of yours, Tom?
I don't know. Is E a vowel, Sheena?
No, it's just silent.
A-E, that's right. Yeah, it's silent. Murator. That was her maiden name. And that was, she's my cousin, my first cousin. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you on. Sheena is a mom of 3, right?
Yeah, 3 now. Yep.
Wow. It's hard to believe that you were a little girl at one point. Yeah, they grow up.
They do.
So anyway, and you're well, I don't know. We don't want to say her age, but she's a mature woman.
She's younger than us, that's for sure.
That'll age you.
Yes, everybody's younger than us. So Sheena, tell me about your career. Where did you start as a career, and how did you get to The Giving Bean?
So I actually started as a teacher. I've been teaching for 17 years.
Good
and
golly.
Now that I have little ones at home, I wanted to stay home with the kids and find something else to do.
What did you teach?
Special education.
Okay.
Yeah.
Certain ages?
Kindergarten through 4th.
Any district specific?
West Genesee. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, they've been with West Genesee.
Special education. That's perfect for Steve.
Well, back in the day, they didn't have titles like that, Tom, for me. They were just like, where'd he go?
Right.
He'll come back. He's harmless.
No kidding. So you did that for quite a long time. I didn't realize how many.
For a while, yep. So
when did this, when did you get the bug for this thing?
So the idea came along in the staff room. As teachers, we don't really have great coffee in our staff room, and we certainly can't go out and get coffee during the day.
Yeah, right. I can see.
So I thought, why not find a way to bring the coffee to the teachers? So I designed The Giving Bean, and its mission is to give back to our local school districts, and we primarily serve our schools. So the trailer pulls up to our local school districts, and we bring the coffee to the teachers, and we take donations, and we donate back to our local schools.
So it's a trailer behind a pickup truck.
It's trailed. Yep. I trail it with a truck.
Yeah, and it's a pretty nice. It would be a food truck, right? You would call that a food truck.
Essentially, it's like a food truck. Yep.
Wow. Do you do anything other than that? I mean, does the food truck trailer go any other places, or it's specific to the schools?
Yeah, it was designed for the schools, but once word got out, I've had a lot of business with all sorts of things. I've done retirement parties, I've done lacrosse tournaments, and anything. I'm open to anything and everything, but my mission is to serve those teachers and give back to our school districts.
So really, that school component is the core that drives this.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Do you show up do you do events like West Jenny, our friend's son plays on the football team out there. Do you do any of the sporting events, or is it specific to when people have to wake up in the morning?
No. Over the summer, I've had more flexibility, obviously, without school being in session. So I've done West Jenny lacrosse tournament. I'm open to any types of sporting events or, anything at all that we can, get our name out there and help give back.
So have you seen Tom's son, Nick, at all these things? Because he's out taking pictures, right? A lot of these events.
Nick actually came to see me at one of the car shows.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm not surprised. He's out there.
Yeah, and he had his camera out there. He's a good kid.
That's great. Yeah, and sometimes it gets pretty busy, and my oldest daughter has helped Sheena out too. Shannon has done that. Shannon and Sheena.
She saved me one day. I started a lacrosse tournament, and it was busy, and I called her in real quick, and she came in and saved the day.
So how did you pick your coffee? So let's talk coffee.
Yeah. So I've actually sampled with a lot of local roasters, because they're all different, and they all offer something different. Everyone around the area has been great, but I ended up going with Salt City Coffee.
Mm-hmm, sure.
They're just a wonderful local coffee shop, and they also, kind of have a mission to give back to the city of Syracuse and try to bring some of those shops in. So we really vibed, and I ended up picking Salt City Coffee.
So is there like one main coffee that you use, or do you, is one of these places that has 73 choices of coffee? In my head, 72 of them are going to get old and stale before anybody drinks them.
Yeah.
So how does that happen?
Just sampling some different ones, trusting, some that they recommended. They actually provide me their cold brew, which is really awesome, and people really enjoy that. So that saves me some time from, brewing it myself, and we just kind of agreed on one to go with together.
What else is on the menu?
We do coffee, we do espresso, hot lattes, iced lattes. We do serve some, pastries and options like that, but we're not a food truck. We don't prepare food, but I'm allowed to serve some other, prepackaged
Would you
pastries.
ever think about getting a food license and moving in that direction?
That kind of takes it to a whole nother level. I'm actually finding there's food trucks for everything, but there isn't a lot of coffee trucks. So when I show up at events, people actually think like, wow, this is great. Just
no
have a little
kidding.
coffee truck.
Right, you're not competing if there's 5 people. If you went to a food truck rodeo or something, there's chicken wings and there's pizza and there's all of those things we would think. And there's a coffee place.
There's a coffee truck.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought, because our family being full Italian, I thought you might do rigot pies
I
or
should sell some
something.
meatballs out of
or
the truck.
meatballs and rigot. And,
So this goes all winter.
It is. So I just started, actually. I finished out this last school year, just started it this summer. It's really taken off. My plan is to go through winter. We'll see how those, real dark winter months go, but that is the plan.
So now, are you still teaching?
No, so this has given me the opportunity to stay home with the kids.
Oh my gosh.
So if I service the schools in the
bold
morning,
move.
I'm usually done by 9 a.m. before school starts, and then I get home to the kids.
So you drag the trailer there, drive with the pickup truck, set it up, level it, do whatever the heck you do.
Yep.
And then so where is it? Which school? Because the district is the district, right?
It's been every school. I've had lots of districts contact already. So I've had Liverpool, I've had West Jenny, I've had Syracuse City. It's whoever wants me. And I usually just kind of pull up to the loop in front, and I service the teachers before the day starts.
Do
so
they know
can get
you're
their
coming?
copies. Yes, they set it up with me. And, their PTA or anybody there will promote it and let them know that I'm coming.
So you just don't go randomly.
No,
It has to be pre-planned.
Yep, it's set up. And actually, some PTAs sponsor it and pay for their teachers and treat them, which is a really nice thing.
So if you go to the high school, can the students get coffee?
No,
This is only for teachers.
This is just for
You're
teachers.
shooing the students
Gotcha.
away.
Yes.
So and then tell me about the giving back component. Can people donate to your cause, like even if they don't come to
Certainly,
the
yeah, we're always open
trailer?
to taking donations. But what I do is I put a tip jar out, and any tips turn into donations, and that goes into the Giving Bean Fund. So currently, we're looking at spending that money and buying some school supplies and clothes and things for kids that can't afford that going back to school.
Oh, that's awesome.
Around the holidays, we'll sponsor families for Christmas and donate gifts and things like that. So there's so many ways to give back in the school districts.
That is a pretty cool thing,
Yeah.
and what a bold move, especially having a nice secure teacher job and then doing that.
Yeah, it looks like you have fun. You're smiling. Listeners can hear her smile. This is fun for you.
It's fun. It's stress-free, and it gives me that flexibility to also be with my family, which is the most important thing.
That's awesome.
Spectacular.
Well,
Well, we
great.
appreciate you coming out and
Thank
seeing
you
us.
so much.
I'm glad I got to know the story too. I'm like once removed or something. Thank you so much, Sheena Tiska, right there, owner of the Giving Bean. And did we give a number out?
I don't think we gave a number. 430-8183.
Yep, that's
so 430-8183. The big area code 315.
That's right. And go on Facebook and look up The Giving Bean on Facebook, and you can get involved there too. You have a great rest of the day.
Thank you. You too.
Okay, Helen Kelly's coming up next. She's the development officer at Elmcrest Children's Center right here on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Blow it in the wind. It's Tom and Steve. That's Steve. That's what you do well. You blow in the wind. I always
say so.
I always think of songs like "Windy" and the answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind.
Dust in the wind.
Dust in the way as we get into fall. More. Tell us a little bit about Safe Harbor Wills and Trust. They've been an advocate of the show and a proud sponsor.
Well, it's easy. If you need to update your trust, your will, call them. Go online, Safe Harbor Wills and Trust. If you haven't done it, Tom, you're not getting any younger, neither am I.
No, that's for sure.
SafeHarborWillsandTrust.com. Look at the reviews. They're fabulous. People trust them. 370-9977, Safe Harbor Wills and Trust.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Hey, we got a new person to the show right now. Her name is Helen Kelly, and she's the Agency Development Officer at Elmcrest Children's Center. How you doing there, Helen?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Very good. Now, she's new to you. I've been, a friend of hers for a while. I consider her a friend.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I guess we're friends.
Yeah.
And we keep in touch on the old LinkedIn.
There you go.
Every once in a while message each other. So, Helen, tell us about your career path. What have you been doing these past, 30 to 50 years?
30, 50 years. Well, for the last 17, I've been in fund development.
Yes.
Started at CBA. Gave me a chance, didn't have any.
Tom went to CBA, Did you know that Tom went to CBA?
I did know.
For like 5 minutes, and then he found out there were no girls there, and he left?
Well,
we
we have our priorities.
Yeah, right.
Am I wrong, Tom?
Now they do
Indeed.
have girls there.
They
yeah.
do, absolutely.
Brother Robert threw the Little English Handbook at me because I was talking one day.
I hope it hit you squarely.
It did.
I like that.
I learned to keep my mouth shut at the right times. Yes. Go ahead.
Hard to do. I then went to Hiscox Legal Aid for about 3 or 4 years, and then I've up and down the thruway to Geneva to work for Finger Lakes Health. And in March, I had the honor of getting the position here at Elmcrest Children's Center.
Yeah. So tell us about what they do at Elmcrest and what your role is over there.
So it's kind of what they don't do.
Okay.
I've driven past the campus on Salt Springs Road probably 100 times the 30 plus years that I've lived here, and I had no clue what it was. And basically what Elmcrest does is it believes in the promise of childhood, in that children need to be cared for, nurtured, supported, given resources to get past their barriers and their challenges, and to be able to live the life they want and live their dream. And there's unfortunately many, many children who do not have that opportunity, and Elmcrest offers that. We basically offer services for kids who have emotional, social, mental health, physical disabilities, to get past that, to give them treatment, to care, and get them on their way to their full fulfillment.
Do you find it hard to get people to donate or to get involved?
Not once they understand what we do. Basically, Elmcrest has 20 programs in 21 counties.
That's a lot.
Yeah, and we have specialized programs. Most people consider Elmcrest a residential children's facility.
I would think.
Yeah.
Right? Is that because, why do we think that?
Because it is.
We
do that. But so basically, just going back almost 200 years.
Wow.
A bunch of philanthropic women who, of course, couldn't have bank accounts and had to go under the auspices of their
back
husbands,
in the day, yeah, sure.
decided that children needed to be educated and cared for. They basically grabbed a bunch of kids out of the poorhouse, started a school, and then started an orphanage, and that sort of morphed into Elmcrest. So we've been around for almost 180 years.
Wow.
The orphanage itself moved to our current location on Salt Springs. And so we do have residential programs for kids who, through the courts, court mandated to, because they don't have family or they're abused, neglected, have some issues, they are court mandated to live at Elmcrest. We have cottages, we call them, in their homes. Kids have their own bedrooms, and based on their age or their gender, we place them in many, we have several cottages for them. We provide education, we provide all kinds of intervention and trauma care.
That's wonderful.
And they, hopefully, with the hope that they will go back into the community, and they will have some family who will take them.
Do you have a lot of success stories?
We do. We have several kids who graduate from high school.
Okay.
They go on to work. They do find homes, many of them, homes either with their families or some get actually adopted out or in foster care. The kids that we have in residential cannot be in foster care anymore, for whatever reason. I like to say that that basically the children we care for no fault of their own, need these services.
Yeah.
They've been abused, they've been traumatized, they've been neglected, they don't have family support. We have that's one of our programs. We also provide early education for many children in the area. We have an on-campus early ed child care facility. We also have on the north side, we have Northside Education Center, and we also work through the Park Hill, East Syracuse Manoa School District, the Park Hill School, provide their pre-K. We have universal pre-K at all three, and we have special ed services. So we have occupational therapy, speech therapy, physical therapy, and we offer that to in those three.
How many employees work at Elmcrest?
There's more than 500.
500.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah,
a lot of staff.
Well, it's
Holy cow.
again, we're in 21 counties.
Yeah.
We have places everywhere. We also have some job readiness programs. We have, it's called our EPIC program, where we teach kids not only how to get a job, but to keep it, to write a resume, to have financial, an understanding of budgeting and personal finances.
So you're a fundraiser.
I am a fundraiser.
So when someone says, "Why should I give to Elmcrest?" How do you answer that question?
Because we have life-changing impact on children in our community who would not have that opportunity without us.
Right.
So you are that quote unquote safety net. I don't know, for lack of a better term, or
we're
more.
we're really sort of a trampoline.
I like that.
We send them on the trajectory of success when they've
it's
been
not
faced
like
with.
You're just enabling people.
Oh, no.
You are actually rehabilitating and getting them to live on their own and live a productive life. Do you work with other organizations in town?
We do. If I can just back up just a minute, I just want to highlight, we have two very, very successful programs. One is Casey's Place, which is out by Nob Hill on Lafayette Road.
Yeah.
It is a home-like setting for children with severe medical fragility or developmental disabilities. And we take kids up to 26, and it's a respite for their caretakers and their parents. They can go there and they can have birthday parties and arts and crafts and socialization and enjoy their time there, either overnight on the weekends or during school vacations, and then their parents and their caretakers can take a minute and step back. We also have a brand new mental health crisis respite program for children 5 to 18, which is a hugely needed service in this area. I think especially since COVID, mental health issues in youth is tremendous.
Is that inpatient, outpatient?
So it's a 3-week program. It's voluntary. It basically, what it does is it prevents kids from having to go to CPAP.
Okay.
Because kids with mental health don't belong in the hospital. No. They need round the clock care. It's a home-like setting. We have recreation rooms. They each have their own bedrooms. We bring them to and from school and activities. One young lady we brought to the prom last year.
There we go. Very nice.
And so we're building a second facility. So that's where I come in. We still need some funding for. We have 12 beds right now. We're building a facility across the. So
listeners say, hey, this is something worth giving to. If they want to, they can find information at elmcrest.org.
Yep.
Or they could call. They could ask for you, right?
Indeed.
If they wanted to.
Indeed.
446-6270.
6250.
6250. You know what? It's right there on the sheet. See, yes, that's why.
We have programs for math. If you want.
That's true.
You might have aged out.
It's true. It's possible. Elmcrest.org. Great place to. We appreciate you and the community, and a great place to give to.
Absolutely.
And that's what you're championing.
Yeah.
All right, Helen. You have a great rest of the day. Thank you. All right. Coming up next, we're going to talk with Lou Greco. He's a comedian and co-creator of the Uncle Louie Variety Show, right here on the local show on 570 WSYR. Stick around.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Back into it and back at it. If you're here, that means we are too. So enjoying a little time with Steve and Tom on the Local Show on 570 WSYR. Steve, are you all set? Do you have a little heater for your back porch or anything?
You know I hate the cold. So the car starter was always good, right? You warm the car up, and now I have a garage.
Oh yeah.
You know, and whatnot. But I don't like winter, Tom.
I know you don't.
It's too bad. It's just nasty. I don't know. It wasn't created. When God created winter, it was so we can appreciate the other 3 seasons. I think. I don't know that it was like, hey, it's winter. Isn't this awesome?
Well, everything goes by so fast, and especially as we're getting older.
Remember our parents like, oh, when you get a time, you're not going to believe how fast the years go by. And now, what are we saying?
Yeah, the seasons go by so fast, but we still have plenty of more time. I think that here in Syracuse, we tend to say, well, it's after Labor Day, so everything's over.
September,
it's
October,
not.
November.
It's not really over.
November's awful. My birthday's November. By the time my birthday comes, the weather's November and March are kind of the same. They're just
right
on both ends. But I'm going to squeeze everything I can out of it and catch some fish before the ice comes in.
Oh, that'd be nice. So speaking of fish, no, that doesn't even work. But anyway, we got our friend Lou Greco right here. He's a comedian and co-creator of the Uncle Louie Variety Show. How you doing there, Lou?
Hello, all. How you guys doing?
Good, buddy. I follow you now since the last time we met. I put you on the YouTube thing, and it keeps
huh?
I blocked him last time we met. I don't know.
And it keeps serving up stuff, so I try to follow and all that. Lou, tell everybody your history. You and I met. Whoa, geez, it had to be 1986, 87.
Oh my gosh, long time ago. Yeah, long time ago. OCC.
Yeah,
my God, it's a different animal right now.
What were you taking back then?
I was taking radio and TV broadcasting.
Were you?
You remember what it looked like back then? We had to walk over that bridge. Talk about the winter.
Yeah.
So don't mention Kathy Hawkins, Uncle Vinny, Uncle Rob, any of those people, because right?
Yeah, absolutely.
They were all
absolutely.
there.
It was just crazy. Now I went over there for my son's graduation, and I'm looking at this place going, oh my gosh.
And they have everything. They got Starbucks coffees and everything.
When Tom and I were there, he was there after me. I was there 80 to 82.
Yeah.
Cut and splice meant cut and splice.
Yeah.
It was
exactly. Tape.
Yeah,
right.
Tape. Splicing tape with the 2 VCRs. Come on. And we didn't have any Starbucks. We were taking French fries off the floor over there. It was so horrible.
It's true.
But,
absolutely. So back then, I don't know that were you into comedy then, or?
I did do a little bit of stand-up comedy, which was fun, but it didn't pay a dime.
Right.
So it was like I had my father in my head, go get a job.
Right,
So, I was always into the comedy. I did some musical things where we got on the radio in Maryland with some of the music that I had. But it was just something that, didn't pay. It was just fun. It was like a labor of love.
Right.
So people were laughing at you, not with you?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, I was in a corner, in fetal position, but, at least they'd listen to the music. But, Carlo and I, later on in years, I was selling commercial fitness equipment for 25 years. I was in retail and commercial fitness equipment. Yeah. So then we started doing these videos, and I just said, why don't I act like my father? Like my father's reaction,
right? Which
is all old school, old school dad's reaction to garbage, what's going on today and everything else. And it hit, and all of a sudden we're rolling pretty good with the likes and the video shares. We had 1 million view video. I'm like, what's going on?
Right.
And then we get a call from Australia. And they said, we want you to perform in Sydney and in Melbourne. And I'm like,
wow.
Okay. Right.
What
do I got to buy?
Is there a big Italian population there?
Huge.
No
Italian
kidding.
population
I never knew
in Australia.
that.
And people are like, oh, you're going to Australia? See if they know this person. I go, what are you talking about?
You know why there's a huge Italian population? Because that's where they sent all the prisoners, Tom.
Right.
It was basically a big prison, but go ahead.
They can all use a gun. So we went over there. We killed it over there. I don't know. It was just the weirdest feeling.
Right.
We get off. We're in Melbourne. And Carlo and I get off of the stage. We're done with the show. Show was insane. These people were fantastic. I loved the place. And there's a line all the way up to the front thing. And I'm like, oh, great. We're going to sell some merchandise, make a little bit of money, So I'm sitting there stopping, talking to people like, hey, how did you like the show? It was great. I love the show. You got, and all of a sudden, Carlo's like, we got to get to the front. We got to get to the front. I'm like, get off of me. I'm trying to find out how we did with the show. And then my manager over there comes over, grabs my arm, and she goes, "You need to get in the front right now." I go, "I want to know what." She goes, "All this line is to take pictures and get autographs from you guys."
Goodness.
And I froze. I was like, I got goosebumps now. Look at that. I could not believe that they were doing. So I ran up to the front, and they had, the two tree trunks like you got, and all of a sudden they're, the little rope, okay, go take. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. No way. So that's where it started. And then I got home, and our manager here was like, I got 60 shows that I can book right now. I'm thinking, I can't work and do 60 shows. So it was like, take a leap of faith. Yeah. This is what you want to do.
So you've been doing this full time?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So how long ago? When did it start?
6 years ago. Okay. So a year and a half went, and then COVID hit.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, you got to be kidding. But we had to keep relevant. So we worked hard. To get through it, do the videos and everything. And that's where a lot of people learned who we were.
Through the videos and things.
Was through COVID after that.
And on YouTube, they just look up the Uncle Louie Variety Show?
The Uncle Louie Variety Show. Or just, Google Uncle Louie. We come up.
You come
every
up all
video
the time.
comes up. It's easy.
Now, in person, people can see you when?
September 27th, we're going to be at the Syracuse show. We're going to be at Eastwood Palace Theater. Last year, we sold it out. It was almost 600 people in there. It was absolutely insane.
600 fans.
Great place for a show, too.
Well, one of the best shows we've done. I remember going to see, my son couldn't make it. I was sick because he was kicking for his team,
Yeah.
And so I went out, I saw his kickoff, and then I came back and I put a hoodie on, and I was walking through the front, and I went, oh my gosh, there's a line all the way around the block. We didn't start till 8:30.
Jeez.
I couldn't believe it. It was amazing.
And what kind of crowds do you get? What's the fabric of the audience that likes what you got?
At first it was older people.
Mm-hmm.
He was looking at you, Tom.
Well,
yeah, the first couple of rows are on oxygen, and then but no, it was older people that love the characters, and then it started to get a little bit younger,
Mm-hmm.
and now we have kids 15 years old coming to the shows.
No kidding.
So it ranges from 15 to 80, which is beautiful.
Yeah. Is it people who are mainly Italian descent, or is it?
It's a lot of people, from the Italian descent actually get it, but also we have a huge Irish, Jewish, even African American, Latino, like everybody, because it's old school.
Yeah.
Everybody can relate to that character that just doesn't want to deal with crap.
Right. And that's the kind of humor. Yeah. They don't understand how to process what's going on out there right now.
Everything is about it. Old school to me was all about family, making sure you got the roof over your head.
Yeah.
And everything else doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And food on the table. And everything else doesn't matter.
It's true.
Right? Because everything else, that's what gets them irritated.
Yeah.
That's old school.
So if people want to laugh, September 27th is an opportunity. The Uncle Louie Variety Show.com. They can go there, just search Uncle Louie, and they can get tickets right here in Syracuse. And you guys go all over the place.
Absolutely.
But you're in Syracuse on that day, so if they want to laugh and see some people they know, go see you, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
You'll love it. We got a bunch of different characters. Uncle Louie, Pasqualino, Tia Maria, and Tia Rosa.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Lou. Lou Greco right there. All right, now kicking off hour number 2 of the local show, we're going to have engaging conversations with Kelly Springer. She's the owner of Kelly's Choice. Attorney John Murphy stops by, owner of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. Anthony Valerio is the owner and founder of Four Winds Chimney. And then finally, we'll wrap things up with, we were going to have Joe. What's her name now?
Yes, we're going to have Bridget.
Hodson.
We're having Bridget,
Bridget Hodson from over at Ichiban is going to be all in hour number 2 on the local show, which starts really soon.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
We're back into it and back at it again. This is hour number 2 of the local show. Get ready for riveting interviews with Kelly Springer, owner of Kelly's Choice. And then we're going to talk with attorney John Murphy, the owner of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. Anthony Valerio stops by, owner and founder of Four Winds Chimney. And finally, we'll talk with, what's her name? Hodgins or Hodkins. Yeah, well, that's what happens when you change it on me. Bridget, that's it. Bridget Hodson.
I feel bad. I know Bridget. And it's just, we're used to reading the she. Yes, Bridget.
Well, let's be honest. Joe Kahn was coming in, the owner of Ichiban, and then it changed.
Little change, right?
Yeah, and it changed. So that's why we're stumbling a bit there. But we won't stumble when we talk to Kelly, because it's Kelly Springer, owner of Kelly's Choice. How are you, Kelly?
Fantastic.
Well, it's great to have you back again. You were on a while ago, and she did some consulting with Kelly and I, but she thought Kelly was a lost cause, so she said, I can't help you guys.
I loved you guys. The best.
No, it's really great. Tell people, first of all, because there's so much to cover, because you're so diverse and have all these great skills. So tell people where you started and how you got to develop Kelly's Choice.
Oh, great. Well, I started in the nutrition field at the age of 17, pushing tray carts and working in Auburn Memorial Hospital. And it was a great experience, because I think being able to start from that level and then moving all the way up and understanding the different positions, that's helped me as a manager now.
And you were only 17. Did they call them candy stripers back then, or no?
I didn't have the outfit. It would have been cute. I gotta say, that would have been great. But no.
Yeah.
But it was a great experience, and then I've gone on to work with Children's Hillside Children's Center, and so understanding psych medications and how that all works with nutrition.
Okay.
Bariatrics, so expert in weight loss, and did that for 3 years, and really amazing of understanding how the gut biome works and deficiencies.
Right.
And then the jumping off moment really was Wegmans. So when I was hired for Wegmans, I was hired for the employee wellness to bring down claims because they were self-insured.
I see.
And it was amazing because it got me on TV. I got to see how you work with food companies. And I also got to see how a company would hire you to do contract work for their employees. So today, we're still doing all of that.
Well, and what's your degree now? You have a specific degrees in education?
Yeah, so I have my undergrad in nutrition and then finished my registered dietitian degree. Plus I have my master's in health education. So I'm a certified New York State teacher as well.
Wow, so YouTube listeners will see she's wearing a white lab coat, which very... No, white lab coat.
No, and that's the difference. So different dietitians do different things. And I think that is something important to bring up, that we have the need for clinical dietitians that are in the hospital wearing a white coat, or maybe even with long-term care.
Right.
And they are treating clinically. So for someone coming in with a heart attack, or they have just had surgery, you need a specific dietitian that is going to be going through that.
And they're not very much fun.
Well, they can't be. It's clinical.
Okay.
It's very important to be serious, where we can be a little bit more fun because we're outpatient dietitians.
Yeah.
We're working in the work site. So for instance, I was just at a law firm in Rochester. We can get people laughing, engaging, because we're not worried about that clinical side in that exact moment.
Okay. So now my wife, Kelly, is also a Kelly. She works for Pathfinder Bank. And she says you're doing work with Pathfinder. What do you do there?
So with organizations across Central New York, and honestly, we are nationwide. We have more work in Atlanta than we do right here.
Really?
We're trying to change that up.
Yeah.
But we have a workplace wellness platform. And on that platform, there's video content that has 24/7 access that everyone can get on. So it doesn't matter if you're a teller in the bank and you can't be on during the day, you can see this content in the evening or whenever it's available. Also, that's connected into, we have challenges 4 times a year. So we just finished a hydration challenge.
Okay.
And so it's great. People can win a Stanley, which is fun. So
and they can pee 4 times at night, Tom.
That's what we're We're hoping to kind of get the education out to do it during the day so that you're not up at night.
Let me know when you have a pasta challenge.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
That'll be fun. Maybe we could do one of those. We're always open to ideas. So,
Yeah.
but the Challenger are included. There's also live classes every single week. So we have our amazing dietitian Maria doing live cooking classes. We'll send out the list of the ingredients prior so you can cook with her. We also have partnered with a amazing exercise group out of Michigan that are exercise scientists. They're going to be on there doing live classes as well. So there's a lot that is right at your fingertips.
There's stuff for regular people, or do they have to be a bank?
All regular people can be a part of it too. So if you go to kellyschoice.org, you can book your dietitian today. Almost all of the services are covered by insurance. And you can also purchase that platform as well. You don't have to be in a work site to get onto our worksite wellness platform.
So do you have a 30-second elevator speech of what Kelly's Choice is for everybody?
Yes, absolutely. So Kelly's Choice was started in 2012 as a collective of dietitians. Today, we have 3 separate businesses under the Kelly's Choice umbrella. The first one is private practice. We are able to work directly with anyone on any nutrition issue that they want to work on. And like I said, that can be covered by insurance. The second part of the company is workplace wellness with 250 videos, newsletters, blogs, challenges, and all of these live classes. That is something that they can take advantage of. And then lastly is our amazing media side. So we've basically turned into a PR company overnight. We represent brands like New York State apples, Lifeway kefir, and the list goes on and on. You can see on our website everyone that we have worked with. So the reason why all 3 lines of business have kind of rose up together is because now they actually all intersect. So when we work with New York State apples, we can actually do a challenge to get those into work sites. And if we work with a really cool product that, for instance, like a probiotic, we can let our private practice clients know about that type of product.
Probably not working with any candy companies anymore.
Sugar is the enemy, there's no doubt.
So we do believe everything in moderation, just so you know. But it's interesting of who comes to us to have dietitians represent them.
So one of the things that you and I talked about probably over a year ago is, obviously sugar is the enemy. You just don't want sugar in your diet. There's nothing good about sugar. But I was using the erythritol monk fruit, whole earth.
Say that again.
And now,
what was that?
Erythritol and monk fruit. You don't know about these things.
Right,
go eat a donut. Okay. So anyway, now that it's got all this bad press saying that it's coagulating the red blood cells and all this kind of stuff.
Well, it's interesting how nutrition is based on science.
Yes.
And so it's, what we learned back when I was pushing the tray carts. Think about that. That was in, basically the 90s.
Yeah.
We were giving every single diabetic artificial sweeteners on their tray.
Yeah, right.
And so with research, and you have to understand that nutrition is always going to change. So that's why we have to get 75 continuing ed credits every 5 years because we have to stay up with the newest and latest research. So what I'm telling you today and what our dietitians are speaking today may change in the future. It's because of the research that we have today.
Right.
But if someone wants to maybe shake a few pounds, not feel like a dietitian in a white coat is going to slap them and eat a candy bar.
Maybe reverse their type 2 diabetes.
Absolutely.
They can do that. They can go to kellyschoice.org. There's lots of stuff there.
Oh, there's lots of stuff. And we have 50 dietitians now across the country that can help. And so truly, you can find the dietitian that fits your personality.
And insurance covers some of these things.
Yes, it does.
So kellyschoice.org, Tommy.
You got it. Kelly, thank you so much for being here, and you have a great rest of the day.
Thank you.
All right. Coming up next, we'll talk with attorney John Murphy from Safe Harbor Wills and Trust. Keep it here on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
We're back again right here on The Local Show with Tom and Steve, the last bastion of interesting talk radio right here on 570 WSYR. Steve has his adulation line.
Right here, the Steve adulation line. It's a text line.
It's a vanity line,
Tom,
John.
Tom, you don't realize I forwarded this to you. You're going to get these. So 216-0273. You have a question for the show. You want to hear a guest on the show. You forgot someone's phone number, or who was that was on a few months ago, and maybe you needed whatever. But it's here, and reach out to us. We'll answer the questions. 216-0273. Or if you just want to comment and say how wonderful Tom's voice is, feel free. 216-0273.
And I believe that's the line that they can text the word chalet, because we're giving away that chalet in Vermont this year.
Absolutely. So yes, you want to do
text that number and put chalet.
It'll go to the 10th caller.
I think that's pronounced chiclet.
Yeah, it's not really chalet, it's chiclet. Attorney John Murphy is with us right now. He's the owner of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts, and brave enough to endorse the show for a couple of years here, which is very nice of you. Thank you. So, John, let's give people your history, because there are people out there who may not know you. You don't have to go deep into your history, but like the company's history.
Because it's not that interesting.
I was born, and I didn't mean it that way, but more about the company. So
on my third birthday.
Yeah, start with Phoenix, New York. Go ahead. We'll wait.
Phoenix, New York. It did all start, right? My parents had their own business there, and I decided to open up a law practice. It was a general practice, and we did okay, and then long about the turn of the century, which is really weird to say.
Yeah, really.
My wife's grandmother was in a nursing home, and long story short, my mother-in-law came to me and said, "Hey, can you help get Mom on Medicaid?" We had no idea how much this was costing. And, I had successfully been part of a lawsuit against Suzuki Motorcycle Company, against Zurich American Insurance Company, which was the biggest insurance company in the world at the time, right? And I got into Medicaid, and I had no idea what I was doing. Right. Things I knew to be true in the real world, like there's an amount of money you can give away and the government doesn't care, are not true in the Medicaid world. They care very much.
Right.
And so I had to humble myself, not only professionally, but to my family. I had to tell my family, right, that I couldn't help them. Mm-hmm. So 9/11 came along. It was just a great time for me to make a change. And I'm a big believer in manifesting destiny. So I had written all over my office that by the end of 2013, I was going to be completely done with my practice,
right,
and start a new practice.
And you did.
And I did.
Okay.
And we just opened up our third office. The end of, this month in Camillus.
Specific, so
3 Henry Beach Drive.
Only estate planning.
This is all we do: estate planning, Medicaid, probate, and guardianship.
Tell us about the third office.
Yeah, it's the old Steve McMahon office building, McMahon Law Office. We're very grateful that Steve would allow us to go and kind of continue his legacy over there, because we're doing what he had done.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Now, it's not his practice. He had sold that previously, but he allowed us to buy that building. And it's right behind Americue off of Genesee Street. Yeah. Kind of almost right across from West Jenny High School. Yeah. Between West Jenny and Walmart.
Absolutely.
Plaza. Right.
Yeah. And that's a big Walmart plaza over there.
Right,
too,
right. But with all your locations, you pull right up and you can park by the door. You don't have to go downtown and try to fight for a spot.
Steve's
or park.
Been part of that journey with me. It was always what is best for our clients, right? We don't want them to have to go downtown. Most of the law firms that do what I do, you got to go downtown and park. Now, maybe that's not so difficult in the summer.
Right.
Maybe it's not so difficult before they start tearing up 81. Right. But winter's coming and construction's coming, and you can pull in and park on our flagship office over on Buckley Road or in Camillus, or those of you in the North Country, you can pull right up to 200 Mullen Street. We actually have 2 reserved spots because it's a shared office building. Reserved for our clients right by the door.
Yeah, but you're like Liverpool, you go in, it's like a house.
Yeah.
The office, the furnishings, it's an office building, but you go in, there's a couch there, there's a rug. You don't feel like, the chandeliers are made of gold hanging down. It feels homey.
Yeah, we try to be the unlawyer lawyers, and just make it a nice place to come and do your business. For some people, it's a very emotional time.
Yeah, absolutely.
What we can do to make it comfortable and not stodgy. Yeah. If you look at our Google reviews, predominantly it's the staff, how people were treated, right? The legal process is the legal process. Everybody does it a little bit differently, but it's how we treat the folks who come through our door.
Yeah, you mentioned Medicaid. I think I've talked to people, lots of them. It's confusing. You said Medicaid. People are, well, I'm not poor. I don't need Medicaid. Explain how Medicaid helps protect your assets.
So, Medicaid gets a bad rap, really. It is there and will allow, if you can put yourself in a position to be financially eligible for Medicaid. And it's a lot easier to do than people would think. The thresholds are much higher. And if you're not already eligible and you need a nursing home, we help you become eligible as quickly as legally possible. Otherwise, you're going to have to spend down all of your resources, right? All of your savings, even your retirement. So if you don't have Medicaid to help you pay your nursing home bill, it's hard to believe the nursing home expects you to pay them for services rendered.
What's a nursing home cost these days?
About $16,000 a month. So you might have to dip into your IRA, your 401k, your 403b, your 457. You might have to cash out your your whole life insurance policy. Getting Medicaid says with regard to the retirement accounts, you can keep those. You don't have to spend those down. Now, when you take your required distributions, that's part of your monthly income. That's a contribution you make, kind of like a deductible. Sure. But if you had a $500,000 IRA, you don't have to deplete it.
Right.
But only if you get Medicaid. Right?
Yeah.
If you don't get Medicaid, you need to spend your money to pay the nursing home bill. So Medicaid gets a bad rap. The other thing I hear is you're not going to get as good a service if you're on Medicaid, which is absolutely wrong. Number one, I think that's insulting to the people who are giving you care in the nursing homes, right? They don't know who's paying the bill. They don't care who's paying the bill. They care if they get paid.
Sure.
Right? So it is also illegal both at a federal level and a state level to discriminate in care based upon who's paying the nursing home bill. So the only difference is Medicaid won't pay for a private room. And I'm not so sure that when you're isolated in a nursing home that it's always in the best interest not to.
Sure, yeah, I get you.
You
some people will say to me, I have a will, so I'm all set, in terms of the wealth that I'm going to distribute to my kids and everything like that. I don't need anything else. What do you say to that?
Well, if you want to, wills are kind of like the full employment act for attorneys. Okay, because and I'm all for that, right?
Right.
So because a will has to go through the probate court in order to work. People don't understand that. They think I have a will, this automatically happens, right? My executor can go and do what I've asked them to do. They can't because they're not the executor unless a judge says they're an executor, and it's not they approve of them as a person. What the judge wants to know is, was the will correctly executed? Okay, was it witnessed by two people that are not inheriting from you? Okay. Did everybody who would have inherited from you when you died, normally the children, but if you don't have kids, your brothers, your sisters, your parents, whoever that might be under the law, did they get a copy of this will? Because they have a right to contest it. Okay. And you got to go through all those formalities before you can use your will. And I never would have thought about this until about March or April of 2020. What if the court's not open?
Yeah.
Right.
Our courts were closed for about 12 to 14 weeks, and people who had died, nobody could do anything with their estate.
Yeah, well, you were talking about your staff, and I know some of the folks over there, all the folks over there.
All the way.
And they are amazing.
Oh, they're fantastic.
If there's questions, maybe someone has an old will, is it good enough, or we want to change it? Or you said this years ago, trusts aren't just for rich people. They're actually more for middle class than they are rich people.
Right.
So to have that conversation, they could call 370-9977. 370-9977, talk to a case manager, and you go to Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts, and you'll see all the info there. And absolutely check out the reviews too, because for some reason, John, people like you. I don't know why.
It's crazy.
Yeah, there we go.
You have a great rest of the day, John, okay?
You too.
All right. Anthony Valerio is coming up next, owner and founder of Four Winds Chimney, right here on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Back into it and back at it again. You've got The Local Show with Tom and Steve.
Summer's over. Labor Day's gone, Tom.
That's it.
It's all over.
It looks like I'm never going to get that, what do you call that thing? Not the spider.
The bloomin' onion?
No, the spider, that motorcycle thing.
Yeah, the spider.
The slingshot. That was it.
So I was
I'm never going to get the slingshot this year.
I was talking to Dave Knapp at the Apple Festival. That's only a month out.
Is it really?
Down there around the second weekends in October. And every time I think of that, I think of the story you shared where someone threw an apple through your car when you were driving.
Yeah, my wife had the moonroof, and we were coming back through the Onondaga Nation, and all of us, I was sleeping because I was tired, as usual. And this rotten apple came through the moonroof, hit me square in the face. Oh my gosh, that was like.
So I just want to, in front of family and friends, say I'm sorry, Tom. I did that.
It all comes out now.
It was a drive-by fruiting. Yes. Hey, look, we got a new person to the show. Let's not scare him off too soon. He's one of my people. It's good. We've had two Italians.
A lot of your people.
This segment. Anthony Valerio is the owner and founder of Four Winds Chimney. How are you there, buddy?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for being here, Anthony. Where are you from? Where do you hail from?
Initially, born and raised Geneva, Canandaigua.
Beautiful area, yeah.
Yep. But I live in Maston, just short of Penfield, Rochester. Right now, my wife and 2 kids.
Great.
Yep.
And how long you been doing the chimney thing?
Oh, since I've known better. I mean, so I've been in business. Four Winds has been open since February 2018.
Okay.
But I'm a 4th generation Mason. We've always focused
from
on
the old country.
You get it.
Yes,
that's right.
I do.
So learned from my uncle, great uncle, father, and grandpa, and my family. They finally just closed up shop in Phelps Clifton.
Oh yeah, sure. What did they do? Were they selling brick or?
Just same thing. So all masonry related, with always a focus on fireplaces and chimneys. A lot of stone work. That was what my family was known for.
Yeah.
So since
I don't know how you do it, because I put a little pad in for my grill.
Yep.
And I had the big, I don't know, they're like 36 inches by 24 inches. And, I'm 60 years old, but I still go to the gym, and everything. So I've always been pretty strong. But those things got to go 150 pounds, though, And me and my son were trying to move them around, and I'm cutting the sides of my hand and everything. I don't know how you do that for a living.
I have people for that, Tom.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So a lot of stuff in the Rochester area. Now you're doing stuff out in our area.
Yes.
So tell us about that.
Yeah, that was so it's new for us as of this year. We're excited for it too. We so started in Rochester, and then we kept going east. The phone call volume would come in, and we'd always have we don't service out there yet. And then
probably referrals too, right?
A lot.
Somebody knew somebody, so they're creeping this way.
Yeah. a lot. And
Do people still have chimneys? Is there enough work?
Yeah, I mean, it keeps us. We got 40 people out of Rochester.
No kidding.
Definitely keeps us busy. We have focused on everything fireplace and chimneys. So everything from the sweep and inspection, that's your basic thing, to gas fireplaces, wood stoves, chimney rebuilding, relining, repairs, electric fireplaces, anything like that. And a big part of what we do, what people always think is that the chimney is just servicing a fireplace. Majority of the chimneys that we work on are ones that just service your heating equipment. Okay. So furnace, water heater, boiler.
Okay. All right. So listeners are dying to know, what the heck is pointing a chimney? We have to point it. We have a chimney. We're pointing it. What is that?
Common repair. So that's and good question. So that's the mortar joints in between the brick. So if it has to get pointed or repointed, what you're doing is taking a grinder or chisel, taking out those mortar joints, and then what's called a slicker or a pointer, just a skinny masonry tool that's pushing the mortar back in. So
okay. So you're remortaring. You're you're firming it up and making it sound. Is that fair?
Yep.
So are chimney fires still a big deal?
Yeah, I mean every. You can never get a specific number, but every year there's over 25,000 in chimney fires, and they estimate the damage somewhere in the billions from that. So
good.
And is it true you don't get them if you don't use your chimney?
Yeah, pretty much. You definitely got to have the catalyst for it. So
right.
So what is the catalyst?
Typically, what you see is creosote. So, and that can come from a result of different things, like the wood not being properly seasoned, improper burning habits, even sometimes just having a poor draft pressure, which could be an issue related to the house that affects the fireplace. That'll start to get creosote that builds up over time. And then creosote, once it is kind of able to ignite. It's like a oily kind of gummy residue that won't come off from a normal cleaning.
And it's flammable.
Yeah, flammable.
Steve has that in his ears.
Nice.
Maybe.
Makes two of us.
Yeah, maybe.
It's very much like tar, like you would see like roofing tar, kind of like same consistency almost, and that's it. Sometimes you'll get a chimney fire from, and this is what like an inspection will show, is like you might not have any creosote showing. You might have zero creosote, but you have breaches or cracks throughout the inside of the system. You get your fire in the fireplace, you get heat transfer that goes through a crack to a combustible somewhere in the house, like the framing or something like that. So that's the other thing you'll see is
that's
that.
something else.
Yeah.
Are you concerned with, well, we're all concerned with our current government, but with the, they're just saying no wood stoves, no burning of anything, all that. Does that, concern you, or do you know anything we don't know?
Ish.
Yeah,
I mean,
ish.
I was pretty involved when they first came out with like their first draft of the bill of what they wanted to do, and it was radical and not sustainable. I think that's the biggest thing, and I think we're an extremely long ways away from that being a reality.
Good.
Yeah, agreed.
They will burn our money. Just to be clear,
No
you can
problem.
put money in there.
That's right.
How often should people have their chimney inspected? Is that the right term in the inspection?
Right.
Yep, it is. And so like it's recommended. So the NFPA 211 is like the codes and standards book that we follow, and that's annual inspection. Typically in the past, like the old school way, even the way my family did it, was like you base it off of how much you use it. And we're like, I only used it a few times this year, I don't need to get it cleaned. And really the cleaning is secondary, and once we get people in this pattern, we actually only end up cleaning the system maybe every couple years, but we're inspecting it every year. So that's the big thing. Inspection's always annual.
Do insurance require that sometimes?
They can, and they can. Not all of them do.
Right.
But then if you ever have an issue and then try to make an insurance claim, the first thing that they'll say is, did you have it inspected? Yeah.
So why don't you just run through quickly, like give me 30 seconds of all the services you offer.
Yeah. So the chimney sweep and inspection, that's one of the main ones. And then everything from new gas fireplace installs, gas inserts, wood stoves and inserts.
Do you sell the product as well?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep,
Oh, wow.
we do.
So, okay.
Yeah, we're a dealer for a few different brands. We're actually building a new location in Victor that's going to have a showroom as well.
Oh, excellent. Victor, beautiful place.
Yeah, yep. And it keeps us close here, too. It's pretty close to Syracuse for us as well, because right off the thruway. And then all the masonry side of things, so chimney rebuilding, all kinds of repairs and restoration.
Yep.
Now, so if you haven't had your chimney inspected, it's the place to start.
100%.
Okay, so they can reach you at 228-0887?
Yes.
So if you haven't had your chimney inspected, it's a smart thing to do.
It is.
Because it's scary not doing that.
It is, and it just brings you peace of mind.
Yeah. So 228-0887. Talk to Anthony.
That's right.
He'll answer your questions, probably give you a quote or whatever.
Yep.
But 4windschimney.com. 4Winds. 4Wind. There's no S there, Tom. Am I going to always get this wrong?
Oh, there is an S.
There is an S.
Is there supposed to?
Should be.
4windschimney.com. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me very
All right,
much.
you got it. Coming up next, we're going to talk with Bridget Hodson. She's the manager of Ichiban right here off of Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool.
Here we go.
Coming up on the local show on 570 WSYR.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
You found the local show, and that means we found you. Thank you for stopping by. We enjoy spending this quality time with you right here on the radio or whatever device you're listening to at this point as technology marches on. I've gotten pretty good at the technology. I'm using AI in my life every day.
How?
And,
Tell me more.
Well, pictures and generating stuff for our little Etsy store and making some graphics. And this one tool that I have called Dzine. It's a D-Z-I-N-E. And anybody can get it. They got a free trial. then you can pay for it and have your wife be mad. But
she'll be mad anyway. Go ahead.
But there's all sorts of good stuff with this particular tool.
Like what? What are you doing?
Well, I mean, if I want to generate, say I wanted to make a T-shirt design for with pumpkins, I can prompt it, and I'm getting pretty good at learning how it thinks, and I can pick a particular style for the artificial intelligence, as well as put in the prompt that says, show me a bunch of pumpkins that are laid out in a pattern with some spooky little things in the background, and make it colorful. And it spits out a beautiful graphic.
What about like licensing and stuff? Can you use it?
Yeah, well, you can use all that.
So you're subscribing to it.
Yeah, you're subscribing to
that
particular thing.
$50 a month or whatever the heck it costs you. Yeah. But then you can just go to town.
Right, you can go to town. And so the AI is just really, that's the positive part of it.
You were terrified of that like 3 years ago.
Well, yeah, well, who knows where it'll end up, right? But, you got to figure, garbage in, garbage out. But
it can be.
Hopefully good people will get a hold of things.
Right. So I hear certain politicians that I won't talk about, and I say, well, that must be AI. No, they said that. That's really stupid. And they actually did it. And it wasn't AI at all. They actually said it. But I won't talk about her. Okay, right.
Yeah. Did you want to talk about your adulation line?
Yeah, 216, one more reminder, 216-0273. Send us a text, send us an idea, send us a comment. Love to hear from you. 216-0273.
Excellent. All right. This time we have a special guest on, and her name is Bridget Hodson. She's been on before. She is the manager over there at Ichiban Japanese Steakhouse on Old Liverpool Road in the same spot.
I've known Ichiban forever, though I forgot about you for a long time. What's wrong with me? And now you guys are back.
Us,
no. Yeah, Bridget,
I'll make a deal with you. Don't forget about us. We won't forget about you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. So how long have you been in the restaurant business in general?
Over 20 years.
Yeah, that's a while.
I started as a waitress, then it was a hostess and manager.
Where were you?
I actually used to do collections. I used to repossess cars.
Oh my gosh.
One time we took a car and a guy was at dinner with his girlfriend, and I'm like, my car's gone. I'm like, I took it.
Oh,
so I said, I got to get out of this.
How did that's
you're such a kind person.
I gotta get out of this. This isn't working. I got to go where people are happy.
And now you serve fantastic food and help people have a fun experience with because Ichiban is an experience more than just dinner.
And it's a heritage restaurant too. It's been around for a long time.
The kids' faces light up like it's Christmas. I mean, if you see, we had a 5-year-old the other night, the first time at a hibachi.
Yes.
He's like, is this real fire? They were just, it's so cute watching their faces.
Because it's dinner and a show, right?
It is. I say you save a show ticket here. You just get it all in one.
Absolutely.
No, Tom, have you ever been able to like chop up a shrimp and flip this tail in your
No. We have a griddle out in the backyard. We have one of those
I know what
stone things. Blackstone, yes, a Blackstone. So my son and I, we try to play a hibachi grill expert.
Really? Oh, that's fun.
We'll flip up and I can't do anything.
I'm working on lessons. I go, we should have lessons on the grill one day a week or something,
Now, the people that you have working at Ichiban, are they authentic grill hibachi people?
Some are, some aren't. Some just start from ground up. They start with fried rice, but they're so comical. I mean, one time a customer said, is his name really Fried Rice? I go, who? I go, what do you mean his name Fried Rice? And I go up to him, I go, are you Fried Rice? He goes, I'm Jasmine. I go, okay.
That's funny.
So they're just so funny. They go out, they go, it's my first night here. They go, we had you last week. Oh, maybe it's my second night then. So they're really, he goes, they're funny. They make it fun.
Great. So is Ichiban, I know that it's gone through an ownership change.
Yes.
And who's the new owner?
The new owner's Joseph, and he's wonderful.
Joe's been there, what, a year or two now?
It's going on 3.
That would be 3
years. Okay, great. And if I recall, last time we talked with him, he's from Burma originally.
He is. Good memory. He is from Burma. He's Burmese.
Yeah, great.
And he's just his heart is in it. He's just so compassionate.
Very enthusiastic.
I like that. So we, when we go over there, we sit. We usually don't do the
tea lounge. I spotted you there. I go, Joseph, guess who's here? We have a celebrity in the house. Guess who's here?
Celebrity, yeah, that's it.
They put you by the bathrooms, right?
They did,
or in the bathroom,
and just hang out and have dinner.
Yeah.
And the show was great, but when you look over at the show, people are always like smiling. Yeah. There's like it's just it's a different kind of thing.
Place.
And you see, and they're a lot of times they're celebrating something, right?
Special occasions 75% of the time. Birthdays, anniversaries, bar mitzvahs, everything.
Do you guys go to the extent of sourcing foods that are all very good organic, like Whole Foods and good produce?
We don't do Whole Foods, but one thing we do that I think stands out, we use nothing but fresh vegetables.
Fresh vegetable, that's what I meant.
Like,
Yeah,
everybody
fresh.
goes, these vegetables are so good. I think at home they may do frozen or canned, and they have fresh for the first time. They're like, wow, these are amazing. How'd you do this? Well, like, we cooked it.
So you put that extra effort in.
Yes, and all the sauces are made from scratch. We have the ancient Japanese recipe from like since 1975.
Yeah.
And they make it the same way. And people just go, this mustard sauce, I could drink it. I go, I'll get you a glass. He goes, no, I'm only kidding.
The mustard sauce and the ginger dressing.
Ginger dressing.
Yeah,
That
fantastic.
is spectacular.
They are the Japanese restaurants from day one. What they
Right.
started with, nothing's been changed on them.
Do you have trouble
And
finding
we sell
chefs?
them by the pint.
Oh, you do. So you can't get that extra. Yeah.
We usually train chefs in house, like
Okay.
they start out doing dishes, come from the ground up,
Okay.
and then they start out with fried rice. But this
Steve's got
crystal
something he wants to
bubble-
put in his
That
mouth.
noise.
here.
So YouTube listeners are looking at sushi.
Yes.
This is which?
This is a crystal bubble. This is, I call our job security roll.
Oh,
It's our
my
best-selling sushi
gosh.
roll. People come in just for this roll.
Now, is that an authentic, roll?
This sushi's kind of Americanized sushi.
Okay.
Traditionally, sushi is cooked, and they call it. People used to say, "I don't want raw fish sushi."
Yeah,
means
that's
raw
what I
fish.
always say.
But sushi just means prepared with rice.
Oh,
so
I
you can
didn't
take a
know
hot
that.
dog and roll it up in rice and cut it up, and it's sushi.
Oh, that's not okay. All right.
See, I didn't know that. I'm thinking I'm going to get sick because it's all raw.
Right.
No,
so
this is all
so what else? What else do we have here today?
So this is called the Maddie roll. This is bumping the crystal bubble a little bit, but this is still number one. This is number
Okay.
two.
Well, what's in it? Tell me the ingredients in the first
it's
one.
shrimp tempura, crab, avocado, spicy mayonnaise, and scallions on this one.
I'm severely allergic to two of those things. That's
You
great.
don't get any.
This one has cream cheese, bacon, asparagus.
Ooh, I like that.
Is
shrimp
it
tempura,
rude
sweet
to
and
put
sour
the,
sauce and crunchies.
Okay, so
Not
you're
rude at
listening
all.
on the radio. I hope
Yes.
you're hearing the food.
Not rude at all.
Is it rude to put the whole thing in your mouth, or
Not
do you,
rude at
do you
all.
bite it?
Put it in your mouth.
okay.
We won't.
It's rude when you speak. I'd rather have your mouth full with food. So the stuff he just took a bite out of, does that have any crab in it, or
Crab.
that's got crab in it? Okay,
Give
yeah,
it to
that's
him.
not good. I get little welts all
He
over
has
my
an
face.
allergy.
Actually,
To
there's a
the
crab in there, crab in there.
crab and then shrimp.
This is shrimp tempura.
Yeah, I could do all the other seafoods. If you had squid and everything, I could do that.
Didn't bring squid today. Let me check my back
What
pocket. if I
are,
got squid.
quickly, what are the most popular entrees when
Yeah,
you do the bite?
yeah. What are
I'll
they?
tell you what the best thing is, to be honest with you. Our filet mignon melts in your mouth. It's
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Ooh, I like that.
So when you come in and get a combo meal, like say you get steak and chicken or steak and shrimp,
Mm-hmm.
you can upgrade to the filet mignon, and it's so worth it because it's just so tender. People go, "This filet is amazing."
So if I bring the family in, will you not pretend that you don't know me or anything?
I'll
Or would you-
pretend I know you.
Okay,
Listen,
that would
we
be
have another
great.
Syracuse celebrity in the house.
Okay,
I'll
Ichiban
find
Japanese
you.
Steakhouse.com. We
Yes.
can go there. 457 and a whole bunch of zeros. You can make
Bunch of
reservations
zeros.
at that number. You open at 4,
Yes.
4:30 every day.
Yep.
457, a whole bunch of zeros. Ichiban, been there forever.
Yeah.
And boy, this food is good.
And they'll treat you like family. Bridget Hodson, right there, the
Absolutely.
manager.
Tell me you saw me you heard me on the local show, so we know that.
There we
Excellent.
go.
There we
And
go.
promote the local show because they're awesome. here.
Oh, you're
Thanks,
so
that's very
sweet.
kind.
All right, we're going to let Steve fill his mouth with crab and shrimp and tempura and everything else. On behalf of the local show, Zoey Advertising, and Tom and Steve, God bless you and your families. Make some time to relax and exercise today and every day. Do it with a friend or family member. It'll keep your mind and body healthy. The local show is heard every Saturday morning from 11 to 1, and then again on Sunday morning from 7 to 9. Listen together with a friend. It's more fun that way. Until next week, get down to business and keep doing business locally. Tell your friends about the local show right here on 570 WSYR, 106.9 FM, the iHeartRadio app, and on YouTube at Zoey Advertising.